Money doesn't matter in love, my girlfriend insisted, while I covered every bill and watched her buy luxurious things. I kept my mouth shut, until a strange man called me, and what he said froze my blood. Guys, I'm literally sitting in my car right now because I can't even go back inside my own apartment. I just had the most mind-blowing conversation with my girlfriend. I'm 30, work as a freelance graphic designer here in Denver, and I've been busting my ass for years to pay off this little condo I own. It's nothing fancy, but it's mine. About 18 months ago, my girlfriend Ashley moved in. She's 27, teaches yoga part-time, and she's got this whole free-spirited vibe that I absolutely love about her. She's always talking about living in the moment, not getting caught up in material things, focusing on what really matters in life. But here's where things started getting weird, and I'm honestly embarrassed it took me this long to notice. Ashley's been living in my place for a year and a half now, and she has never once contributed to the mortgage. Not once. When we go out to dinner, I pay every single time. Groceries? That's me. Her car insurance lapsed 6 months ago, and somehow I've been covering all her Uber rides everywhere. At first I didn't really mind because she told me she was just staying temporarily while she figured out her living situation. But temporary somehow became permanent real quick, and I started feeling like I'm basically funding another adult's entire existence. So last week I finally worked up the courage to bring it up. I tried to be really gentle about it because I know money conversations can be sensitive. I was like, "Hey babe, since you're basically living here full-time now, maybe we should talk about splitting some of the expenses. Like utilities or groceries or something." Oh my God, you guys, her reaction was immediate and intense. She looked at me like I just suggested we sacrifice a goat or something. "Ethan, money doesn't matter in love. Why do you keep track of every penny? That's so unromantic." So I'm trying to explain that it's not about tracking pennies, it's about fairness and partnership. I'm like, "Ashley, I'm not asking you to pay for everything. Just maybe contribute something since you live here full-time now." And then she hits me with this line that I swear is burned into my brain forever. "I thought you were different. I thought you understood that relationships aren't about splitting bills like roommates. What happened to traditional romance?" Traditional romance. This is coming from the same woman who gives me lectures about breaking free from outdated gender norms whenever I ask her to cook dinner. But suddenly when it comes to money, she's all about traditional roles. But wait, it gets better. She goes, "Besides, I contribute in other ways. I bring emotional support, I make this place feel like a home, I inspire your creativity. You can't put a price on that." And I'm sitting there thinking, those are all things that partners naturally do for each other, right? Like, emotional support is baseline relationship stuff, not something you trade for rent money. But then she really went for the jugular. "Your focus on money is honestly starting to make me feel like you don't value what I bring to this relationship." So now I'm the bad guy for wanting my live-in girlfriend to contribute financially to the life we're sharing together. That's when something just clicked in my brain. I looked at her and said, "You're absolutely right, Ashley. Money doesn't matter in love, so let's stop making it weird. From now on, we'll split everything exactly 50-50. Guys, the look on her face. It was like I'd spoken to her in ancient Greek. She just stared at me for the longest time. "What do you mean?" "I mean you're right, money shouldn't matter between us. So we'll split the mortgage payment, utilities, groceries, everything. That way it's completely fair and money won't be an issue anymore." The silence that followed was absolutely deafening. She looked like I'd just told her we were moving to Mars. "Ethan, I don't think you understand my financial situation right now." "What's to understand? You teach yoga, you have income. We'll just split our shared expenses down the middle. But the mortgage is like $1,500 a month." "Yeah, so you'd pay $750, plus your half of utilities, groceries, all that stuff. Probably comes to about $1,200 total per month." I watched her face go through about 5 different emotions in the span of 10 seconds. It was like watching someone realize they'd been living in a fantasy. $1,200? Ethan, I only make like $300 a month from yoga classes." "Wait, hold up. $300 a month, I spend more than that on coffee. How has she been living this whole time? Ashley, how have you been paying for anything?" "I'm very minimalist, I don't need much." But that doesn't make any sense because this woman has designer workout clothes, gets her nails done every 2 weeks, has a gym membership at the fanciest place in town, and somehow always has money for those expensive organic smoothies and fancy face masks. "Okay," I said, trying to stay calm. "Well, now that we're splitting everything 50-50, money won't matter anymore like you said. And you guys, she's been quiet for 3 days now." 3 days? No more lectures about how unromantic I am for caring about money. No more speeches about traditional romance, but also no contributions to any household expenses whatsoever. Tomorrow, I'm sitting her down with the actual bills, and we're going to figure out exactly how this 50-50 thing is going to work. I have a feeling this conversation is going to be very, very illuminating. Actually, wait. I just remembered something that's been bugging me. After she went quiet, I decided to look through my credit card statements from the past 6 months. You guys, Ashley has contributed approximately $200 total to our shared life. $200 in 6 months. While living in my apartment, eating my food, using my utilities, the whole 9 yards. But here's the part that's really messing with my head. She spends way more than $300 a month on stuff for herself. Like way more. How does someone who makes $300 a month spend $300 a month on personal expenses while contributing absolutely nothing to shared costs? The math isn't matching here, and I'm starting to think there's a lot more to this story than Ashley's been telling me. And I will tell more in the next update. Okay, so the update 1 here 50. That 50-50 conversation was even more insane than I expected. I'm actually questioning reality right now. So yesterday I sat Ashley down with all our bills from last month spread out on the kitchen table. Mortgage statement, electric bill, gas, water, internet, groceries, everything. I'd printed out all the receipts and highlighted exactly what her share of each expense would be. Okay babe, here's how the 50-50 split would work, I said, trying to keep things positive and upbeat. Her face went completely white when she saw the mortgage statement. $750. Ethan, I told you I only make $300 a month. Right, so you need to pick up more yoga classes or find some additional income. Lots of people have multiple income streams these days. Then I showed her the utilities breakdown. Your half of electric and gas comes to about 150, water's 30, internet's 40, so that's 220 for utilities. She's staring at these numbers like they're written in a foreign language she's never seen before. Groceries last month were 400, so your half is 200. And if we're being totally fair, you should probably contribute to household supplies like toilet paper, cleaning stuff, laundry detergent. That usually runs about $75 a month, so your half would be like $38. I'm adding it all up out loud as I go. So total monthly, your share would be $1,208. Ashley just sat there for like 30 seconds and then she started crying. Not like gentle tears, but full-on sobbing. Ethan, this is impossible. You know I can't afford this. But honey, you said money doesn't matter in love. I'm just making sure money isn't an issue by splitting everything equally like you wanted. That's not what I meant. Well, what did you mean then? And here's where the conversation took this really bizarre turn. She started giving me these lectures about how in healthy relationships, partners contribute based on their abilities, and how traditionally men have been providers, and how forcing her to pay equal amounts was actually sexist because it doesn't account for economic disadvantages. I'm sitting there thinking, Ashley, you literally told me I was being materialistic for wanting you to contribute anything at all. Now you're giving me sociology lectures about equitable distribution. Ashley, last week you said you contribute emotional support and inspiration. That's great, I appreciate that, but emotional support doesn't pay the electric bill. I just think there are different ways to contribute to a partnership. Okay, so what are you contributing financially? Because according to my receipts here, in the past 18 months you've contributed maybe $200 total to our shared expenses. That's when she got really defensive. I've bought groceries, so I pulled out my phone and showed her my Venmo history. Yeah, you Venmo requested me $37 for coffee and snacks last week. That wasn't groceries, that was you asking me to reimburse you for stuff you bought for yourself. I bought us both coffee. Ashley, $37 for coffee. What are you buying, gold-plated lattes? She couldn't answer that question. But here's the part that's really been bugging me since that conversation. I started looking at her spending patterns more carefully, and they make absolutely no sense. This woman who claims she only makes $300 a month somehow manages to maintain a lifestyle that includes a membership at SoulCycle, which I know costs like $200 a month. She gets regular mani-pedis that cost $80 every 2 weeks. I saw a price tag on one of her sports bras last week, and it was $150. Her bathroom counter looks like a Sephora exploded on it. And she has this daily green juice habit where she spends $12 every single day. I did some rough math in my head and she's easily spending $600 a month on personal stuff, but she only makes $300 from teaching yoga. When I asked her about this discrepancy, she got really vague and evasive. I'm good at finding deals. Sometimes I get help from family. I get lucky with gifts and stuff. Family money. In the 18 months we've been together, I've never once seen her receive money from family members. And what kind of gifts are we talking about here? Designer everything just magically appears. My sister came over the next day to help me organize all these bills and receipts, and she took one look at Ashley's spending patterns and said something that made my stomach drop. Ethan, normal people don't accidentally stumble into $600 worth of luxury goods every month. Someone's funding this lifestyle and it's not yoga classes. What do you mean? I mean Ashley's getting money from somewhere and she's not being honest with you about where. That same night, Ashley came home with a brand new purse, not like a Target purse or something from TJ Maxx. This was clearly a real designer bag, the kind I know costs serious money. Where'd you get that? I asked, trying to sound casual. Oh, I found it at this amazing consignment shop. $50, can you believe the luck? So I looked up the bag online that night. It's current season Louis Vuitton. Current season. There's absolutely no way she found a current season LV bag for $50 at any consignment shop anywhere. That bag retails for $800. When I showed her the actual retail price the next morning, she got angry at me for interrogating her about every single purchase. Ashley, you said you can't afford to split basic living expenses because you only make $300 a month, but you just bought an $800 purse. It was $50. Where? What consignment shop sells current season designer bags for $50? She couldn't name the shop. She got flustered and changed the subject. So now I'm thinking, okay, my girlfriend is lying about her income, lying about her expenses, and somehow funding a luxury lifestyle while claiming she can't afford to split basic bills with me. Something is very, very wrong here. Tomorrow I'm asking to see her bank statements. This is getting ridiculous. I don't even know where to go on. Felt like I've been living with a complete stranger for 18 months. After my last post, I started paying closer attention to Ashley's daily routine. Like, really paying attention to things that I just accepted as normal before. And suddenly everything looked completely different. First thing I noticed was these yoga classes she supposedly teaches. She claims she works at this studio downtown, so yesterday I decided to call them. I told them I wanted to surprise Ashley with flowers after her class. The receptionist sounded confused. Ashley Morgan, let me check our instructor schedule. I don't think we have anyone by that name teaching here. 5 minutes later she comes back. Yeah, we definitely don't have an Ashley Morgan on our teaching roster. Are you sure you have the right studio? So I called 2 other places she's mentioned over the months. Same response. One studio said she used to substitute occasionally but hadn't been on their schedule in over 6 months. Where the hell is she going when she leaves for work every day? Then I remembered her phone. Ashley's always got her Venmo app open, and she's never tried to hide it when she's using it around me. So today, when she left her phone unlocked on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower, I decided to take a quick look. What I found made me feel physically sick. Over the past 6 months, there's been this steady stream of payments from someone named Marcus Williams. And we're not talking about small amounts here. $300 here, $500 there, $800 payments with notes like, thanks for dinner with heart emojis, shopping fund, and just because you're amazing. Marcus Williams has sent Ashley over $4,000 in the past 6 months. $4,000. From some guy whose name I've never heard in my life. I screenshot everything and immediately called my sister. Who the hell is Marcus Williams? Did you ask Ashley about him? She's not home yet. I just found all these Venmo payments on her phone from this guy. My sister helped me Google him. Marcus Williams, 45 years old, divorced businessman, lives in the most expensive part of downtown. His LinkedIn shows he runs some kind of high-end consulting firm. Ethan, my sister said after we'd looked through his social media, I think Ashley has a sugar daddy. When Ashley got home that evening, I was sitting on the couch with printed screenshots of her Venmo transaction history spread out in front of me. Who's Marcus Williams? I asked the second she walked through the door. Her face went completely white, like all the blood just drained out of it instantly. Marcus, he's just a friend. A friend who sent you $4,000 in 6 months. It's not what you think. Then what is it? Marcus is gay, he's my gay best friend, and he's just really generous with people he cares about. Gay best friend, right. Ashley, these Venmo notes say thanks for dinner with heart emojis. You're going on dates with this guy. No, Ethan, you're being paranoid. Marcus just likes to help people. He's wealthy and lonely and he enjoys spoiling his friends. It's completely innocent. What kind of spoiling are we talking about here? That's when she broke down and told me what she claimed was the whole truth. According to Ashley, Marcus is this sweet, lonely gay man who loves having a platonic female friend to take shopping and out to nice dinners. He pays for her gym membership because he wants her to stay healthy. He buys her clothes because he has excellent taste and enjoys dressing people up. He gives her money for rent and living expenses because he's generous by nature and she reminds him of the daughter he never had. It's completely platonic, Ethan. He just enjoys having someone to take care of financially. Some people express love through gifts and support. I stared at her. Ashley, you don't pay rent anywhere. You live here with me for free. Well, he doesn't know that part. So you're taking rent money from him for rent that you don't actually pay. It's not like that, I just don't want him to worry about me or think I'm taking advantage of his generosity. This whole conversation felt completely surreal, but then I remembered something important. Ashley, what does Marcus think about you having a boyfriend? What do you mean? Does Marcus know you live with me? Does he know you're in a serious relationship? The silence that followed was absolutely deafening. Ashley, does Marcus Williams know that I exist? It's complicated. What the fuck does that mean? Marcus gets jealous of my other relationships. He's very protective. If he knew I was living with someone seriously, he might stop being so generous and supportive. So let me get this straight. Ashley has been taking thousands of dollars from this older, wealthy man by letting him believe she's single and available. She's been going on what he thinks are dates with him multiple times a week. She's letting him pay for her entire lifestyle while she lives with me completely rent-free. And when I ask her to contribute 50-50 to our shared expenses, she tells me that money doesn't matter in love. Ashley, this is fraud. You're essentially running a scam on this man. I'm not scamming anyone. I provide genuine companionship. Marcus is lonely and I'm a good friend to him. That's worth something. Does he think you're more than friends? That's not my responsibility to manage his expectations. I'm looking at this woman I thought I knew and loved, and I'm realizing she's been running some kind of elaborate sugar baby operation while giving me lectures about materialism and romance. Pack your stuff, I said. What? Pack your stuff and get out of my apartment. If Marcus wants to fund your lifestyle, go let him do it properly instead of lying to both of us. She started crying and begging, saying I was overreacting, that she could stop taking money from Marcus, that she could explain everything if I just gave her a chance. But here's the thing that really got to me. The woman who told me that money doesn't matter in love has been secretly taking thousands of dollars from another man while contributing absolutely nothing to our relationship financially. Money apparently matters a lot to Ashley. It just doesn't matter when it's supposed to come out of her own pocket. She stayed at a hotel that night, and the next day she moved in with Marcus full-time. At least now she can afford to split expenses with someone, right? And this is my last update. You guys, I thought this saga was over, but it just got even more insane. Ashley moved out 4 days ago, and I thought I could finally move on with my life. Then yesterday morning, my phone rings. Hi, is this Ethan? This is Marcus Williams. I'm trying to reach Ashley, but her phone seems to be disconnected. My brain completely stopped working. Marcus Williams was calling me directly. How did he even have my number? Marcus Williams, I repeated, trying to buy myself time to figure out what the hell was happening. Yes, Ashley's landlord. I've been sending rent payments to your account for the past 6 months, and I wanted to make sure everything was current. Landlord. This man thinks I'm Ashley's landlord. I'm a little concerned because Ashley hasn't been responding to my texts, and I wanted to make sure her rent situation was okay. She mentioned that you prefer to receive the payments directly. Holy shit. Ashley told Marcus that I'm her landlord and that he should send her rent money directly to me, except I never received a single dollar from Marcus Williams. Marcus, I think there might be some major confusion here. What rent payments are you talking about? The monthly payments I've been sending to Ashley to forward to you. $800 a month for her studio apartment downtown. I've been covering her rent for the past 6 months because she was going through some financial difficulties. $800 a month, for 6 months. That's $4,800 that was supposed to be rent money that Ashley just kept for herself while living in my place for free. Marcus, I need to tell you something important. I'm not Ashley's landlord. I'm her boyfriend, or I was her boyfriend until 3 days ago. The silence on the other end of the phone lasted forever. I'm sorry, did you say boyfriend? Yeah, Ashley's been living with me for 18 months. She never paid any rent because she was living in my place for free. More silence. Mr. Ethan, Ashley told me she lived alone in a studio apartment downtown. She said she was single and struggling financially while trying to build her yoga business. Marcus, Ashley's been lying to both of us. That's when the whole truth came out. Marcus told me he'd been helping Ashley financially for almost 2 years. Not just the rent money, but he'd been paying for her gym membership, buying her clothes, covering her grocery bills, everything. He genuinely thought he was supporting a young single woman who was working hard to achieve her dreams of opening her own yoga studio someday. She told me she was trying to save money to start her own business. I was happy to help someone so ambitious and independent achieve their goals. Independent, while living rent-free with her boyfriend and contributing nothing to household expenses. Marcus, did Ashley ever give you the impression that she was interested in you romantically? Oh no, she made it very clear from the beginning that we were just friends. She said she wasn't ready for dating after going through a difficult breakup. That's actually why I felt comfortable helping her financially, because I knew it was completely platonic. This poor man had been funding Ashley's entire fake lifestyle while she played the struggling single girl routine perfectly. We ended up talking for almost an hour. Marcus is actually a really decent guy who genuinely thought he was helping a friend in need. He's not some creepy older man trying to buy a young woman's attention. He's a divorced father who simply wanted to support someone's dreams and ambitions. Ashley had been playing both of us like fiddles. After we hung up, I felt like I needed to confront her one more time, so I called her. Marcus called me, I said when she picked up. Silence. He thinks I'm your landlord, Ashley. Ethan, I can explain everything. No more explanations. Marcus knows the truth now. He knows you've been living with me, he knows you kept the rent money he sent you, and he knows you lied about being single. She started crying. I never meant for it to get so complicated. You stole almost $5,000 from someone who was just trying to help you. I didn't steal anything. I provided companionship and friendship by lying about your entire life situation. That was the last conversation Ashley and I ever had. Here's what happened after that. Marcus immediately stopped all financial support. Ashley's hotel bill came due and she couldn't pay for it. She tried calling me multiple times asking to borrow money, and I laughed and hung up every single time. She ended up having to move back in with her parents in Colorado Springs. Her Instagram account went from daily luxury lifestyle posts to complete radio silence practically overnight. Meanwhile, Marcus and I actually ended up becoming friends. We met for coffee a few days later and just laughed about the whole ridiculous situation. He's genuinely a good person who learned an expensive lesson about verifying people's stories before you start helping them financially. As for me, I'm doing amazing. My mortgage payments feel completely manageable now that I'm not subsidizing someone else's secret luxury lifestyle. I started dating again and met this incredible woman through a hiking group. On our third date, when the check came at dinner, she immediately pulled out her credit card. Let's split this, she said without me even asking. I honestly almost cried tears of joy right there in the restaurant. The woman who told me that money doesn't matter in love spent 18 months proving that money was literally the only thing that mattered to her. She just wanted it to come from other people's wallets instead of contributing anything herself. To anyone out there dealing with a partner who won't contribute financially, pay close attention to their actual spending patterns. If someone claims they're broke but somehow maintains a rich person's lifestyle, they're getting money from somewhere. And if they're getting money from somewhere while refusing to contribute anything to your shared life together, they're using you. Ashley taught me that financial compatibility isn't about being materialistic or unromantic. It's about being adult enough to pay for your own life and contribute fairly to a partnership. My new girlfriend splits dinner checks, pays for her own gas, contributes to shared activities without being asked, and never makes me feel guilty for expecting equal partnership. It's honestly the sexiest thing I've ever experienced in a relationship. True partnership means both people rowing the boat together, not one person doing all the rowing while the other person complains about how unromantic boats are. Never again will I let someone convince me that wanting equal contribution makes me materialistic or controlling. Equal partnership is actually the most romantic thing in the world. As for Ashley, last I heard through mutual friends, she's working at some chain yoga studio in Colorado Springs making minimum wage and living with her parents at 27 years old. Turns out when you burn bridges with everyone who was financially supporting you, you end up having to support yourself. Funny how money suddenly matters when it's coming out of your own pocket instead of someone else's. The best revenge is just watching someone face the natural consequences of their own choices. Ashley wanted to live a luxury lifestyle funded by other people. Now she gets to live a budget lifestyle funded entirely by herself. That's what I call perfect justice.